Alright, good evening everyone. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Kevin back here once again to give you guys kind of a live update on what's going on across the natural state at this point. I told you guys that there was going to be kind of a combo of two of the potential severe threat down there in southern Arkansas, and now we have the winter weather threat going on across northern Arkansas at this point here. So we had a line of storms across southern Arkansas that moved through southern and southeastern Arkansas about a couple of hours ago. Those storms have moved away. Not expecting a whole lot of additional severe weather down there for the rest of this evening, so that severe thunderstorm watch should be allowed to be expired by the time we get towards 7 o'clock this evening. But our attention right now goes to northwestern Arkansas. I'm going to zoom down to the Fayetteville area here, guys, and we're getting a lot of reports in of heavy sleet, snow falling, also car accidents up here along Interstate 49 up here in northwestern Arkansas, and then over towards Harrison and towards Mount Home in these areas. If you are traveling up here in northwest Arkansas, you need to take extreme caution. I cannot stress that enough up here. We got freezing rain, sleet. That's what you're seeing on your radar. You're going from rain to freezing rain to orange, and the red you're seeing is sleet, and of course the white is snow up here in far northwestern Arkansas. At this point, this stretches over into northern Arkansas as well, north central Arkansas, and portions of far northeastern Arkansas as well. So I'm gonna go over future casts, go over a few questions you guys have. I kind of want to give you guys like a little bit of a live update on what's going on across the board. And I'm going to show you guys what's going on with iDrive as well, because we're constantly getting reports in the Weather Center about those accidents coming in. So like I said before, just keep that in mind if you're up there in Fayetteville right now, especially on Interstate 49. Guys, Interstate 49 is a complete standstill right now up there in northwestern Arkansas. So please keep that in mind. If you do not have to travel, I would not recommend it at this point. Let's go ahead and talk about temperatures here, and the reason why we're seeing a lot of trouble up here in northwestern Arkansas. And I told you guys this yesterday, that regardless of what happens with the winter weather threat, what's going on is the colder air is starting to filter its way down into Arkansas. So all of this winter precipitation you're seeing up here in northern Arkansas is accumulating, and is accumulating pretty quickly up here in these areas here. So we're talking temperatures right now right around a freezing mark up here in upper 20s across northwestern Arkansas, and then 30s elsewhere. And you can zoom this out and show the difference between the two areas in the natural state right now, where southern Arkansas is in the upper 60s, low 70s. Northwest Arkansas and north central Arkansas is in the 30s here. So right now, a crash between summer and winter across the natural state. At this point, the winter side is going to win out. This is going to move into, the colder air is going to move into Arkansas as we get towards this evening into the night, and especially during the day tomorrow here with high temperatures struggling to get out of 20s and 30s here. Now, the winter weather potential probably will not make it through the entire state, because the moisture is going to be leaving as the cold air is moving into Arkansas. So those up there in northern Arkansas, northwest, you'll be the better shot of seeing winter weather. Central right now, still a little bit of uncertainty there. Not expecting a whole lot of issues here in central Arkansas, but keep in mind that temperatures are going to rapidly fall into the teens and 20s by the time we get towards the night. So any winter precipitation that you see and manage to accumulate, even if it causes slick roadways, guys, be careful for black ice tonight. That's how much these temperatures are going to fall during the overnight hours here. So here's current temperatures at this point. I'm going to show you guys your future cache real quickly here, and we'll show you guys the road temperatures, and then I'm going to tackle any questions you guys may have across the board here. Also, if you're needing traffic information, go to idrivearkansas.com. Someone attached the link in the descriptions here. It's a very good site to go on. They have traffic cams, they have road conditions, etc. So but just a little bit of advice: if you're on Interstate 49 or you're in downtown Fayetteville thinking about traveling, I wouldn't do it at this point, guys. It's a complete nightmare across the board right now there in northern and northwestern Arkansas here. So temperatures are falling pretty quickly. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take you guys out all the way to about midnight tonight. Alright, so this is current precipitation. We'll go ahead and take this off the screen for just a little bit. And you can see all the severe warnings down there as well in southern Arkansas, in northern Louisiana, northeast Texas at this point here. But you can see how temperatures fall right around midnight here. We're in the teens up here in northwest Arkansas, near freezing central. And in southern Arkansas, you fall into the 40s. And then by the time we get towards 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, you get ready for work, getting ready for school, etc., temperatures will likely be in the teens north, in the 20s across much of southern, central, and south Arkansas. And then up here in the higher elevations of northwest Arkansas, I cannot rule out a 9 or a 10 degree reading up here in northern Arkansas here. And also wind gusts 15 to 20 miles per hour. Wind chills are going to be down into the single digits and even the negatives up there in northern Arkansas here. So protect the pipes, check on your pets, check on the elderly, check on those that don't have heating, because temperatures tomorrow are going to struggle to get above freezing here. And I can actually show you guys that real quickly with the NAM. And let's take a look at tomorrow afternoon here. So this is tomorrow afternoon here. You can see right around lunchtime tomorrow, you don't recover much across the natural state here. You're in 20s across northern Arkansas, and much of the natural state here is right at or well below freezing for the daytime hours tomorrow here. So it's going to feel very, very cold across the board, and any winter precipitation that accumulates up here in northern Arkansas or even portions of central Arkansas, we'll have to watch later on tonight for the potential of some slick roadways. Should not be a major issue, however, with the colder temperatures coming in, that's where it's going to start becoming a problem for those up there. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're traveling at this point. So just going over a few questions here. I know everyone's trying to talk about next week and the winter weather threat for next week. Right now, it's still a wait and see. I'm not really wanting to jump on winter weather too much right now. It's still a wait and see because model guidance is still back and forth. I can talk about that briefly if you guys would like for me to do that. But the main point of this live stream was kind of give you guys up there in northern Arkansas, northwest, a little bit of a kind of an update on what to expect there. So I'm going to go back to the HR, and we're going to go ahead and show you guys the precipitation for future gas here. So bear me for just a bit. Let's get that loaded up, and I'm going to show you guys that real fast. So let's go to 5 o'clock here. It should be popping up. There it is. Alright, so let's go to precipitation type real fast. And you can see up here in northern Arkansas, it should start popping up. There it is. So there's your winter weather up here in northern Arkansas, across southern Missouri, northwest Arkansas, and then your showers and thunderstorms down here across southern Arkansas at this point. And what's going to happen is, as we get towards later this evening into the night, that colder air is going to be moving in, but your moisture is going to be moving out. That's why I'm not expecting this thing to be a big time winter storm or anything like that here in Arkansas, because your cold air is chasing the moisture away. So let's take a look at this by 9 o'clock tonight. It should be out of the natural state by this point, but that's what I'm saying, from north central Arkansas, probably the Searcy area, towards Russellville, towards Jonesboro. I cannot rule out a brief changeover to a wind remit. It may make a run for the metro, but I would not make a 100% guarantee that it will. So I think along and north of the Interstate 40 corridor, that's Russellville, Fort Smith, Independence County over there, towards White County, Jonesboro, Mountain View, Mount Home, Pocahontas, Pickett up there. Those are the areas that I would expect to see winter weather for the next couple of hours into the evening hours, and possibly as late as the midnight hour up here in northeastern Arkansas. But the biggest story is going to be the colder air filtering down at this point. And I can overlay temperatures with this as well. And temperatures are going to be crashing in big time. So there's the temperatures beginning to show up here. And you can see your 32 degree line is going to be down here in central Arkansas. So any precipitation that falls tonight is going to stick to the roadways and is going to provide some slick roadways tonight here. So keep that in mind across the board. Please very, 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 very careful if you're planning on traveling tonight and into the very early morning hours of tomorrow here across north central Arkansas and northeastern Arkansas. Central, I think for the most part you should be okay in central Arkansas. Southern Arkansas, definitely you should be okay. I'm not expecting any sort of winter activity down there in southern Arkansas outside of the cold air beginning to make its run down. And I've gotten a lot of questions about what about lingering moisture, etc. That's another thing that you may have to watch out for, especially on the back roads. Some lingering moisture could make the roadways a little bit slick. That's the amount of cold air that's coming in, folks. So any remnant moisture on the sidewalks or on the back roads or anything like that, that's something that you may want to watch down there in southern Arkansas. But it shouldn't be too big of an issue unless you start getting winter precipitation, like for those up there in north central, northeastern, and northwestern Arkansas at this time here. So in terms of wind gusts, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. I can actually show you guys that real quickly here. So in terms of wind gust potential here, this is right around 10 o'clock tonight. And you can see with your oranges, your dark reds, you're talking 20, 25, 30-mile-per-hour winds, greater in the higher elevation areas, and also eastern Arkansas, where your winds are, where your lands are a lot flatter. So you'll have to watch that close over here in eastern Arkansas. But generally 20 to 25-mile-per-hour winds. Some higher gusts can be possible here. So that will help with the roadways, but it's just the back roads, the ones that don't get a lot of wind activity. Those are the areas that you're going to have to watch for slick roadways as we get towards the overnight hours. Southern Arkansas, you should be okay for the most part, but just watch out for those wind chills tonight, guys. Wind chills are going to be down into the negatives in northwestern Arkansas, north central. Also single digits across much of the area, and in teens and 20s for central and south Arkansas here. So a true Arctic blast heading our way as we get towards tonight and into the early part of your tomorrow morning here. So freezing fog, not really too big of a concern, because of the fact that your moisture is going away. If your moisture is still kind of hanging on, then that may be an issue. We'll watch northern Arkansas closely for that, but I don't think that's going to be too big of an issue here. But for central and south, you should be mostly okay at this point. So let me see here. What about Independence County? I've already answered that question. Winter weather is expected over the next couple of hours here. Should not be a winter storm or anything like that, but just watch out for some slick roadways as we get towards this evening into the nighttime hours here. So speaking of the iDrive, let's go to that real quickly, and I can show you guys that real fast here. So this is iDrive. This is up here in northwestern Arkansas at this point here. So this is Garland Avenue up here, Interstate 49. Alright, and this is what I'm talking about up here in northwest Arkansas here. So there's your roadways, guys. Temperatures up here in the upper 20s, low 30s. Very, very, very dangerous conditions up here in northwestern Arkansas. Snow, sleet cover, freezing rain as well. Be very careful on the roadways, guys. If wherever you gotta go, it's gonna be there when you get there. So please be very, very careful on the roadways up here. This is Interstate 49, Garland Avenue, up here in Fayetteville here, and you can already see the roadways starting to become very, very dangerous in this area here. And also, with limited wind, your roadways are going to start becoming very hazardous over the next couple of hours because you're going to lose your sun angle. So keep that in mind. Stay home. If you got to go somewhere, let it be at least an emergency, guys. Do not travel unless it's an emergency up here in northwestern Arkansas at this point here. So traffic right now, not terribly bad, but just keep that in mind. It's going to be very, very bad as we get towards this evening and tonight up there in northwest Arkansas, especially with all that ice on the roadways at this point. I can zoom this out and show you guys a little bit more up here. Let's take you guys over to Mount Home. And this is Club Boulevard in Mount Home at this point. Mount Home, I believe they have salted the roadways up here, but you can see wet roadways up here, temperatures in the teens and low 20s. Excuse me, not teens, low 20s. Mid to upper 20s up here in Mountain Home area, so keep that in mind. You got some light snow going as well here, guys. So just keep that in mind, guys. Do not travel unless it's absolutely necessary here, and if you have to travel, take it easy on the roadways. Right now, it isn't terrible because it just occurred, but you can definitely see the roadways are pretty slick in this area. Wet. Snowfall is ongoing up there in Mount Home at this point here. We also have a chaser up there as well here. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. If you have to travel this evening, I would not recommend it at this point here, especially tonight. First thing tomorrow morning, let the sun come out. Let it kind of get over the roadways before you start traveling across the board here. Elsewhere across the rest of the natural state, you're relatively good to go at this point. It's just mainly up here in northwestern Arkansas and north central Arkansas right now here. But northwestern Arkansas, you're relatively good at the moment here. But the wet roadways and the crashing temperatures, that's where it's going to lead to some accidents as we get towards this evening and into the night here. That's where your roadways will start becoming slick and potentially icy by the time we get towards night here. So there's one more traffic cam we're looking at here. 7.3 up here, Falcon Road up here along Interstate 49 here. This is not terrible. You can see the wind starting to pick up as well. So this is what's going to help your roadways later on, is the winds coming in up here in northwestern Arkansas. Travel up here is relatively good in these areas, but just keep that in mind, guys. Be very careful on roadways. If you don't have to travel, I wouldn't travel at all at this point here. So in terms of accumulations here, guys, I'm not expecting a whole lot of accumulations with this. generally at half an inch to an inch, possibly up to 2 inches. Any higher elevation areas. The problem is your temperatures are crashing. This is not like Saturday night's event where you didn't have temperatures crashing. This one, you have a lot of cold air coming in behind it. So even if you get a half an inch or an inch of snowfall or light glazing of ice, etc., temperatures are going to be well below freezing tonight into the early part of your tomorrow morning. So that's going to lead to treacherous, hazardous road conditions. Also, that could lead to some more accumulation, especially on the sidewalks, etc. So just kind of keep that in mind first thing in the morning. If you have to travel, take it easy on the roadways. Expect delays as well. And just keep this in mind. Wherever you have to go, it's going to be there when you get there. Don't try to speed or anything like that in these areas here. So accumulating and sticking to the roads up there in Fayetteville at this point. What about Jonesboro? Jonesboro, you'll start getting into the action later on this evening into the overnight hours here. Heavy snow and sleet ongoing in these areas. Let me go back to the comments real quickly. Grapple in Newton County. What about Craighead, Poinsettia County? Same thing up there as Jonesboro. This will start getting into northeastern Arkansas by the time we get towards this evening and into late tonight. Should not be too big of an issue, but problem is, even with not as much winter weather, temperatures are going to fall well below freezing and stay below freezing as well. Keep in mind, tomorrow, you're not going to recover much. You're going to be in the 20s tomorrow, guys. This is the true Arctic air mass I've been talking to you guys about for the last week that's going to finally make it into Arkansas, and it's going to stick around. So temperatures tomorrow, don't expect them to recover much. This is not going to be like it was on Sunday, where highs recovered back into the 30s and 40s. Temperatures tomorrow are going to struggle to get out of the 20s, and in some cases, especially in southern Arkansas, you may make it to the freezing mark, and you may not. It's still a wait and see at this point. Right down the road from Fayetteville and Springdale, it's mostly dry here so far. That is good news here. So right now, you can definitely tell some areas have gotten in winter precipitation, and some haven't. If you don't worry about it. The roadways should be relatively good in your area. If you see winter weather in your area, keep in mind that temperatures crashing into the teens is going to lead to some hazardous road conditions as we get towards this evening and into the overnight hours as well here, guys. So, has anything changed for the Conway and Greenbrier area, Jessica? I wasn't expecting much in Central Arkansas. We made a map earlier that clearly stated that it was a brief bits in Central Arkansas. Not expecting much in Central at all. I know the special weather statement came out this morning. That was just for mainly areas in northwestern Arkansas. Some areas was for winter weather. Some areas were for cold weather. Mainly along and north of the Interstate 40 corridor is the best shot of seeing winter weather. And even in some cases, as you see up there in Fayetteville, some areas are getting blasted with winter weather, and some areas are not seeing much at all here. So we're going to go back to our radar real quickly. Give me 1 second. Let's go back to it, and you guys are going to see what I'm talking about here. With the ongoing precipitation up here in northwestern Arkansas. So this should be loading up here shortly here. But up there in northwestern Arkansas is where the brunt of the winter weather is ongoing at this time here. So school tomorrow, that's still debatable. If any school closures happen, we'll let you guys know first thing. We haven't heard anything. It's still a little bit too early to make a call. But if we hear anything up here in northern Arkansas about that potential, we'll let you guys know here. But this is current radar at this point. You can see the heavier bands of snow ongoing near Mount Home and then over here towards Fayetteville at this point here. So let's go ahead and go back to real quickly here. So there it is. So there's your rain changing over to sleet and then up to snow up here in northwestern Arkansas. This is very, very light activity. This should move through the natural state pretty quickly. But if you see winter weather, that's where you're going to start looking out for the potential of seeing some hazardous road conditions as we get towards the evening into the overnight out here. So just south of Mountain Home, give me 1 second, let me go back to that comment. Just south of Mountain Home, it sleeted so much, it looks like snow, and it's still coming down. Please be very careful on the roadways up there as well. Light rain in Russellville at this point. Okay, Bill, thank you for the compliment. That's why we're here. I was going to do a video update, but I started hearing about all the accidents up there in northwestern Arkansas, and I decided to go live with this here. So while we've gotten that out of the way, I've got a lot of people inboxing us about next Tuesday here. Now somebody, I haven't even been on social media, but I'm pretty sure someone has probably talked about Tuesday, next Tuesday here. So we're gonna go ahead and jump at that real quick. I will answer questions as well while I'm doing this, and then after that, guys, I'm probably going to hop off of here, and yeah, we're going to go back to radar updates here. But I wanted to kind of give you guys a brief overview on what's going on across the board right now here. So for those that's looked at Weather Bell, I'm finally glad that it's back up. It's been down all day. It's just now coming back up here. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at next Tuesday. Right now, you're not going to see a graphic from us because of the fact that today's Wednesday. So you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's 5 days away. So things change between now and then. But let's take a look at it here. So the cold air that's in place is going to linger across Arkansas. This is a true Arctic air mass moving through here. So temperatures are going to begin to moderate by the time we get towards Sunday and Monday. Rainfall returns across the board. And you can see what happens with the Euro, okay? My number one concern with Euro right now, just based off of what I'm seeing right now, is higher elevations, okay? You've got your cold air clashing into Arkansas, okay? You change over from rain to snow up here in northern Arkansas and central Arkansas at this point. Southern Arkansas stays mainly a cold rain. 999 millibar low pressure, Gulf Rider, cold air moving in. So this is a classic setup here in Arkansas for the potential of seeing winter weather if we were to go with the Euro. But this one is still a wait and see. And I know a lot of people, especially across the board, has been doubting winter weather here in Arkansas. I want to make a very, very clear point, guys, okay? Not every system is going to give you winter weather. Not every system is going to give you snow. Not every system is going to do this, do that. All our forecasters bust our behinds for the winter weather. We get it, okay? It's done. It's over with. We've heard all your anger, all your complaints about not seeing it, etc. Folks, forecasting Arkansas weather is difficult, okay? One slip, and it's game over. That's exactly what happened on Saturday, okay? That's why we're kind of taking a little bit of an extra caution with this one on Tuesday. I haven't even looked at Tuesday until just now. So right now, it's still a wait and see. I want to see what Computer Model Guidance does over the next day or two before I jump bases on it. But it's still a wait and see on all that. So that's what it does. Okay, if you were to go to Euro, it changes over to snow here in central Arkansas, etc. We'll have to watch and see. Okay, my number one thing right now with this is you have a 1034 millibar high coming in. Okay, this one is more classic for Arkansas versus the last one. The last one was an upper level low that comes through. Minimum cold air, not that much cold air to work with, etc. Some folks got really, really lucky. Some folks did. Okay, so that's the issue with last week's system. This one's a little bit more different, okay? This one you have cold air filtering down. That's what you want to see if you have winter weather. You want to see that Arctic air filtering down into Arkansas behind a system like this, because that assures that you get winter weather here. So you have the cold air coming down with this system, okay? That's something that we'll watch. Right now, it's still a wait and see. It's still a little bit too early to kind of jump bases on see what happens with this system. So let's go over temperatures if you go with Euro, okay? And you can see the Arctic air mass comes in behind it. So that's what you want to see. You want to see the cold air coming in behind it. You don't want it to be kind of how it was on Saturday with temperatures in the low to mid 30s, etc. Some folks saw accumulation, some folks didn't. This one, you would have cold air coming in rapidly behind it. The number one thing that I don't like is the cold air is coming out of the mountains up here in northwest Arkansas. So I think the Euro is a little bit aggressive right now. Let's see if it trends. We'll see and wait and happens with the European model right now here. But right now, I think it's just too early to buy anything in terms of the winter weather potential on Tuesday at this point here. You can even go to the GFS real quick, okay? While I'm on a Soja, let's talk about it. So GFS, did I mean to skip out that far? Let's go over to your temperatures here. So this is what it does. It has rainfall moving into Arkansas, so your temperatures warm up. By the way, warm up. So it's been the next couple of days to be relatively cold here in Arkansas, but you start to warm up with this. And another thing I'm worried about is your temperatures post the moisture coming in. You have to watch out for some onset sleet maybe, but you go straight to rain and you see what the GFS does. Nada. It has nothing here. It has no winter weather here. It gets it out of here very quickly here. So that's what I'm worried about if you go with the GFS. GFS, it has the rain here in Arkansas, your colder air. and it doesn't make it in time. Your cold air gets here, but by the time it gets here, your moisture's gone. So it's another situation where cold air is chasing the moisture away, which is something you don't want to see here in Arkansas. You don't want to see a setup like that, because 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna end well for us here in a natural state. So that's the issue that's going on right now with Gusts. And that's the whole thing about the Euro. Just for hypothetical purposes, let's take a look at accumulations. You go Euro. This would be, still majority North Arkansas. Go maybe 2 inches higher elevations up here near 3. Central Arkansas is the cutoff, and the southern Arkansas sees the rain. So still a wait and see. You're not going to see any graphics come out from us about this event, because I don't trust it right now. At the moment, we'll just have to keep an eye on the situation. If anything changes, we'll let you guys know. But that's all I got for you guys right now. Just in northern Arkansas and northwest, be very, very careful with the roadways tonight. Temperatures are going to rapidly crash into the teens to low 20s across the natural state. Any winter precipitation that falls and sticks on the roadways will cause issues tonight and the early part of your tomorrow morning, guys. So stay safe, take it easy. We'll keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.